actually came into this space because he used to run a equity crowdfunding platform in Scandinavia. So I should know a lot about this. Hence why I created this software, because it was such a mess. No, but I think it probably answers both of your questions. There's this, I remember we used to call it in my previous company, we called it the bartender effect. So a bartender, he would always put a lot of tips in order to get before the night, because if there's a lot of tips already in his little glass, then a lot of people will tip. So how crowdfunding works is a lot FOMO, right? You fill it up with 80% and you overfund it by like 300%. And then the same thing with cost and so forth, you make sure you already have the commitments and then you overfund. I've done a lot of crowdfunding deals, and that's unfortunately how it works. And a lot of people get disappointed because they launched the campaign. I think now this site is just going to magically get a lot of investors for me. Fortunately, not how it works. And there's a lot of shady stuff going on in equity crowdfunding, and many of the times, some of what have happened is a fund like Index or Passion would go in with Monzo and say like, yeah, we're co-investing in this round. And then the round is filled up and everybody's eager to get in, but they get completely different terms. So it is a little bit unfair for the investor, and it's a lot of FOMO, unfortunately. We thought it would be different back in the days.
What was the first question, just before I go?
The first question was
the Angels Network and people like that.
Where it kind of loses that personal, warm introduction touch.
One meeting to many. If you're trying to meet lots of people, you might as well give them a go. I've seen some pretty good investments come out of those guys, especially the British Angels fund, because it's kind of like a VC, but it's not. You're pitching to certain people and they'll pitch to the rest. So it's probably good practice. Crowdfunding is, it's an early situation. I definitely wouldn't have done it with our company because we're not a consumer-facing product that can create some form of hype and then kind of tip, as you said. And then I'm not sure I'd like that longer tail on my cap table. So then potentially maybe Cedars is the better option that does it by a proxy. So it's there've been some successful companies that have done it, and there have been many that haven't. And there's a lot of people try compared to the amount of people that actually successfully fund. So it's exactly the same game as the rest. I'd prefer to do it if you're more of a consumer-facing business that can create something, because the main benefit I would want from crowdfunding as a company is a very loyal beta test group, or maybe even super early MVP testing, because they kind of already own it and you're going to get pretty good feedback from them. So I'd use it more of a pure product testing, getting a decent early crowd. That's not really what our product was about, so we wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. Just is a very subtle point Oliver made about difference between some of the different crowdfunding platforms. Just speaking from the accounting side, that we see the after effects of it, and there's a huge difference. For example, somewhere like Cedars, where it's done as a nominee and a proxy, which keeps the cap table very, very clean, and other ones where you have to do things like confirmation statements, Company's House and things like that, and you've just got pages and pages of shareholders, and it just makes the whole compliance.
I thought you used Capdesk.
That's why that's it. Or use Capdesk to solve all of those issues for the little ones. Yeah, when they're at a very early stage. Yeah.